So let me get this straight. Jaguar Wright been out here in these internet streets killing Jay-Z's name for years. She called him a monster. She called Jay and Beyonce a, quote, nasty little couple. Jaguar said they do nasty things, keeping people against their will, putting people on planes when they're unconscious. Jaguar said, I have 3 victims right now who are willing to give testimonies about what Mr. Carter has done to them and his wife as well. That is extraordinarily specific. I got 3 people who will come forward and testify against both of them. For a long time, those of us in the reality-based community have been telling the Jaguar righties, it's not a real story. Stay in the corners of the internet. And they kept saying, if it's not true, how come you're not suing? And then Jay-Z came and said, peekaboo, peekaboo, lawsuit time. And now that people want to sue for defamation, Jaguar Wright's whole song has changed. It's not even she changed the song. She changed the whole genre of song. She went from singing a blues about how bad Jay-Z is to talking about, no, you done chopped and screwed my words and used AI to make it sound like I said things I didn't. What? Dissing Jay-Z? 3 victims willing to testify? I don't know her. I don't know them. Ain't nothing happening here. Why are you willing to shut up now? Why is it when people start talking about defamation lawsuits, now you know how to act? She out here pulling down videos and lying about the lies that she told before. Nobody chopped and screwed her. She was living in a receipt-free fantasy, throwing rocks at the throne, thinking nobody's ever gonna retort this, and thus I can say whatever I want about. And now, when we start talking about a lawsuit, now her whole thing is different. So the suit against Jay-Z is falling apart rapidly. The woman who sued him is now backtracking and admitting to NBC that her story has some mistakes. There's things she has misremembered. She said she remembers at the party talking to this celebrity musician from the band Good Charlotte, but he and Good Charlotte were on tour in the Midwest at that time. She got there via a 5-hour drive from Rochester, New York, but of course the friend who drove her has passed away. So then she called her father to pick her up, and he had to drive 5 hours to get her, but he does not recall that at all. I think a father would remember driving 5 hours in the middle of the night to pick up his 13-year-old who had gone to a MTV VMA after party. Now both the girl and Tony Busby concede they don't really know the location of the party. Also, Jay-Z was photographed going into Lotus in Manhattan that night. So it's not even clear that he and Puff were at the same party at all that night. Jay-Z said in a new statement, the incident didn't happen, and yet he filed it in court and doubled down in the press. Sounds like a legal shakedown. Jay-Z is suing Busby for extortion and asking the court to dismiss this whole lawsuit. We'll see what happens. After the initial story, I got lots of comment from Jaguar Wright fans that is still a thing somehow, who said, "What say you now?" What I say now is that, oh look, Jay-Z appears to be ramping up to sue Jaguar Wright for defamation, and she's going around talking about, oh no, I never said nothing about Jay-Z. She's backtracking and erasing videos and suddenly claiming that videos where you see her saying wild things about Jay-Z, those videos, she says, were chopped and screwed. Anytime anyone alleges deceptive editing, they're lying. Jaguar's running, y'all. Jaguar been in these internet streets hollering all this about Jay-Z for years. And now that she's about to be asked for receipts and have to go to court, now she's like, oh no, that never happened.
I want to be clear and specific that I am not defending Jay-Z. I still believe that there are things that he has done, especially in the 2000s, and his questionable character of him dating minors, more specifically his wife. He met her when he was still a teenager. Go argue that however you want, Jay-Z. You know that you met your wife when she was still a teenager. Okay. And you were a grown man in your 30s. You have a history of doing that, irrespective of whether you are guilty or not in this scenario. And besides you being guilty or not, I knew this case was never gonna hold. Why wasn't it gonna hold? For obvious reason. It happened in 2003, and how old is a girl now who's 13? The evidence is long gone. Like, what are we suing on? Where's the evidence? I mean, cases need evidence, otherwise it's founded on based accusations and hearsays, and court don't work like that. I knew it wasn't gonna stick. I knew that this thing is not gonna hold. I mean, we just know. The only way it was gonna stick is if that 13-year-old back then went and sued with evidence covered in her. Right after it happened, she went there to the police station, reported it, took evidence, and then there was evidence that this happened on this day and this and that. And then we have it. We have evidence. No, there's no evidence. There's nothing, and there's people speculating and all of that. I just knew this was gonna happen. It wasn't gonna stick. It wasn't gonna hold. It wasn't gonna be relevant, and equally it's gonna be thrown out. It was just made to get people to just talking. That's it. And people are literally questioning Jay-Z's character and be like, well, Jay-Z does have a questionable character. He's been going around doing shitty things, making shitty deals. I mean, he got to where he is because of not his business skills, but more of his questionable morals and character, right? And his ability to clean up things. Okay. Now let's get back to Jaguar Wright. This woman has made claims about Beyonce and Jay-Z, telling her that she's a lesbian and cannot hold herself, and she's always aroused and she's always doing this. I'm surprised that she's even backtracking now, because she was like, sue me, Jay-Z. She was so comfortable. Like, I don't think she herself, because she's been ranting for so long, that she thought anybody will give her the time and actually sue her. She thought she can just say whatever she wants, however she wants, and lay on the thing of, oh, why hasn't anybody sue me? That's because I'm correct. Often that time, it's because these people are envious of the very same people they're calling out. Okay? They are, often than not. And then she was questionable. She made me question everything about her the minute she called Megan transgender, misgendering her.